Ever since I released Designing User Interfaces, which became one of the largest and most popular UI books in the world, I've been getting messages like these. Do UX! Why won't you do UX? Do something like this but for UX. Well, UI is a part of UX, but I get where you're coming from. Today, I have an announcement for you. You can now pre-order my upcoming book called No Bullshit Guide to User Experience. The pre-order price is $15, so it's probably one of my most affordable products yet. And that's on purpose. I want as many people as possible to be able to actually get this. So what's in the book? My biggest and main goal is to transfer or translate the main UX concepts into easy to understand language. Kinda like your friend would explain it to you over a beer in a pub. It cannot be too complex because nobody will care. The underlying goal is to reduce all the complex words, all the jargon, and simply show UX for what it is. This book is a guide to UX from my perspective, so a designer with 23 years of experience who have worked on hundreds of products for both the largest brands in the world and small agile startups. But of course, it's not the only way in UX. Even if your organization or your future employer has a completely different vision of UX than me, you can still learn a lot and structure the knowledge so it's gonna be easier to learn from other sources. For this book, I came up with a traffic light style grading system, which basically means that if a UX process or a UX technique gets a green light, it means that this is something that is actually often used in real work, which means that we often use that in real work. And if something gets a red light, it means that we barely ever use that. Here's an example for you. We barely ever used personas in any real work. And that is because personas are mostly a thing to showcase in your junior portfolio because it's a very nice way to show that you empathize with the users. But in most cases, instead of creating characters with names and photos and the backstory, we create a list of characteristics that define the audience. And then based on that, we design solutions for them. And of course, we can also do user testing based on those characteristics, simply divide them into subgroups. So in most real cases, there's just no need to create artificial people. Personas are getting a red light. But of course, this is our experience with our products and our work. There are employers and companies that will push you to create personas for every single project. Mostly very large companies and not that many of them, because most of the industry, at least from what we're saying, has actually left personas behind. And here is the green light for you. One thing that we almost always use is competitive analysis, because there's just no need to reinvent the wheel. If something was created before by other companies in the space or in the category, you can simply look at that, analyze it, and then build a better version of it. That's simply a much faster and much better way. These were just two little examples of how the book is going to be structured. The pre-order, however, is not just about the lower price, as they usually are. Now, I'm gonna do research here. Throughout the month of February, I will be sending surveys weekly to all the people who pre-ordered the book, and they will include both closed and open questions, and there will be questions that you can ask me. If there are parts of the UX process that you don't understand or you believe that are too confusing, simply write them there and I'll make sure that there will be answers for you in the final book. So we will be shaping it together. How awesome is that? I will be also sharing little parts of the book in those surveys just to see how well people understand them, because if I wrote something that is not completely understood, then it's probably best to fix it. This is going to be my way of live researching, so the book is well adjusted to everybody and that you can benefit from it. If you want to pre-order, click on the link in the description of this video and share it with your friends. The more people get it, the more I'll be able to actually contribute to that book in future updates after it's released. It's gonna release in late March because I need a little bit more time to evaluate the concepts that I want to gather from researching with you. I'm super excited for this because this is actually me going even further away from my comfort zone and providing you with the actual experience. So not just plain knowledge, but the actual experience of how UX is being used in real work for real clients, real projects, and how you can use it to launch your own freelance career or join a small to medium-sized company. because small to medium-sized companies are where it's at and where the most exciting things happen right now. They're also experimenting with the process and progressing a lot faster than the bigger companies, which means that a lot of the UX process that is current in the biggest companies might not be as current anymore, and those big companies will catch up eventually. So yeah, this is my guide into UX from my perspective, and I hope you'll find this super helpful. As usual, thanks for watching, like, subscribe, share the video, go pre-order the book, and most of all, have a beautiful day.